more my business story. So what is my business story? And how did I take my business to the next level of success? I'm going to share a little bit of that, of what I've done. And it won't be relevant to all of you, but hopefully some of the reasons or my thinking of what I've done will make you think of what you can do in your business or in your life. So it doesn't have to be the same story, just take something from it. And therefore, I'm going to cover how can it help you. So, what do you think, whether anything in life, if you need to succeed, 2 things you need? We've talked about them already. 2 things. Okay, ambition, mindset, what else? Goals. Okay, I'm going to summarize this. It all comes in, a couple of things were mentioned, but those all come into it. Passion and talent. You've got to have passion for something, otherwise you're not going to be successful. And you've got to be good at it, otherwise you're not going to be successful. And if you want to make a business out of this, what do you also have to focus on? Learning, marketing. Yeah, money. It's got to make money. So the 3 things, if you want to be successful, passion, talent, and you've got to turn those into making money. And you've got to keep in a constant state of evolution. You can't stand still. And that's why any business or any part of your life to take things to the next level, you have to always be evolving. So, passion. Jeff already mentioned, my passion in life is simple for me. It's just, I can't help it. It's just how I am. I'm wired this way. Creating change in others to make something better in their lives. And the love of networking and connecting. I always just love people. I'm fascinated by people. I love to learn about them. Everybody is different. And also I like to help them, I find a way to get into their mindset, into them, to create change for good. And I love doing that. And I happen to do it well. And the way I've done this is I've coached people around the world. And I started off training salespeople and coaching salespeople, and moved a lot more into personal development. And I worked for a company that owned 22 offices worldwide, and I traveled around the world coaching everybody and helping them develop and getting themselves to the next level of their success. The love of networking, connecting, for me, really started to take off when I came to America 15 years ago. I knew 2 people, so really my network could only expand from there. But I now, and it was added up recently, my network that I have organically grown myself, and it's not to say wow, it's just for you to take this to look into your network. My network is just over 155,000 reach of everybody I reach out to, and I've grown that organically. So it depends what you focus on and what's your passion, what do you want to create. So go away and build it. So therefore I took these 2 loves, these 2 talents, these 2 passions, and made it into a business, the money side of it, and started coaching people. So the more I did networking, the more clients I got, and coaching. But then once I think, and if you might resonate with this, once you have a message that you find is successful over and over again, you want to tell as many people as possible because you know you can affect them and you know you can make their lives better. So I wanted to start giving my coaching one-to-many. So I started doing events, and then things started to change because the flow of people, the flow of business started to take off in a bigger way. As you can see, there flows between networking, more coaching clients, more events, more networking, more connections with people. I loved it. But then a few strange things started to happen. When you coach people, personally, privately, you get to know them pretty well. And I really got to like them, and I said, oh, give me some of your business cards when I'm out there and about, I'll start connecting you. So I did that. And then when I did events, people would contact me afterwards and they say, oh, can you help me? I met somebody, they didn't have a business card, I didn't have a business card. And I'd say, absolutely, I'll do that. But if you want to meet them, you also want to meet these other 2 people. Let me connect you to all 3 of them. So that started to happen. Well, anybody who knows who writes particularly email introductions, it all takes time. And if you start multiplying that effect, it takes time. And then another interesting thing happened. I used to do a lot of company corporate fairs. And I remember one day distinctly looking down, and I had a 6-foot table. Half the table was my stuff for Naked Health, and the other half was all the business cards and marketing materials I was trying to help people and connect them. Something a little bit wrong with that picture. Wonderful, it was working, but that wasn't really helping my business so much. So I had to make a decision, and I did. Was I going to stop connecting people? Remember, that's one of my talents and my passions. Or was I going to incorporate that into my business? So I decided to evolve and incorporate that into my business. And I created a partnership program. And then that's all started to create this wonderful circle of success, circle of business, and basically fed into my creating passion, my creating change of people for the better, connecting with people, my love of networking. So it created everything for me. And it's different for everybody. But for me, this was fulfilling my passions and my talent. So what is it for you? And are you fulfilling those? And the name Naked Health, hey, healthy you, healthy business. They're completely related. You can't have one without the other. So it's all very, very relatable. So real life, real solutions, real results. And that's what I do now. And the whole flow flows one way, flows the other way, and all completely keeps going. So how can any of this help you? So I've made a few notes here, and the next slide is, of course, the one that's full of words, and you should never do that, but I did. Some of them are so obvious, but I'm good with that because it's always good to state the obvious. It's always good to go back to the basics because hopefully it will start you thinking. Maybe it's something you haven't thought about the obvious or the basics for a while. So start to think about these things. Do what you're passionate about. We've all spoken about that today. What are you passionate about? Have you stopped to think about it? Has it changed? Did you do a vision board and it's changed since then? So think about that. Focus on your strengths. What are they? Do you know what they are? Again, have they changed? Maybe they're different to what they were last year, 10 years ago. Do you have the passion and talent that people will pay for? So if this is something that you want to take more than a hobby and you want to turn into a business, will people pay for it? Otherwise, it's just a hobby. And how are you letting people know? So you've got this passion, you've got this talent, you want to take your success out there, show the world. How are you letting people know? What is your reach? How are you getting out there? Are you thinking about these things? So what is your business reach? And we spoke about this, your spheres of influence. Kim just spoke about it. Your spheres of influence. Do you know who they are? And when I talk about that, I talk about people that are in the same business as yours, similar, but you don't compete. So for example, with me, if I was just staying just on my pure coaching, health coaching, a great partner for me or sphere of influence person would be a chiropractor. We go after exactly the same type of clients, but we don't compete in our business. You think about it. You start to identify those people, partner up with them. You can go to the same networking event and work the room better, or go to different ones and come together and collaborate on the people you've met to do business with. Work your spheres of influence. Start to sit down and identify who they are, so you can use that to multiply your success without multiplying your effort. The work smart, not harder. I need some of that. I need more of that. Or more hours in one day. So build your brand. Are you building it, or have you stagnated for a little bit? Or when was the last time you changed anything? Like Kim's just been through a massive branding change. Although it's everybody's resistant to that because of the money and the time, the effort. But maybe that will be good for you and your success in your business. So have a think on that. The obvious things: have a plan, work it, review it. We all know the basics, but are you doing it? Or when did you last do it? Did you really review it properly and analyze it? Did you really focus on what didn't work, or just focus on what is working, or the other way around? Different for everybody. And when I say, do you have a board of directors, I'm not talking about a corporate board of directors. I'm talking about it in your life. And this is relevant for whether you want success in your life or in business. So think about 6 to 8 people who know you really well and know you from different aspects of your life, whether know you very personally, or know you in business, or know how you operate on a team somewhere. And pick those people and make them your virtual board of directors, so that they will give you true words of counsel or advice and not just their opinion. And you know you can go to them when you want to get help to get yourself to the next level. It can't all come from here. It's good to connect with those people who know you really, really well. So think about that. Do you have your own board of directors? And if not, maybe it's time to start creating one and building one. And that again will change over time. So something to think about. Some other things more in detail, but I did want to share them with you. And again, this is just from my experience of life, working with expert coaches around the world, my own education, my own coaching, everything like that. It's just passing these things on. You have to see what they mean to you in your life. Who here has salespeople in their business? Yeah. If you recruit and you make the wrong mistakes, that is a very timely and costly mistake. So think about when you next recruit people, do you sell products or do you sell ideas and concepts? Because they're very different salespeople you need to recruit. High offerings. Often we think about putting our prices up to get to the next level of success. Well, is that of true value to your clients? Or what else do they value that is of value to them? Might not be monetary at all. So maybe time to rethink what you are offering in your business. Vertical and horizontal success. We often think again of just offering more, putting on more or higher prices. What about vertically? What about horizontally? Sorry. So we think vertically. What about thinking more offerings on the same level? So maybe a lower price, but more offerings. Different things you can add on. Maybe get together with your board of directors and brainstorm that. Different things you can do. Repeat business. Of course, it's the best to get. We all know that. And you've got to give the best of your stuff to your best clients or your best customers. Always brainstorm with people for new offerings. What's important to them? Ask them. You don't have to guess. Find out. And of course, asking for referrals. Easy to say. Do we do it? I forget very often. So ask for referrals, especially if you've just done something great for somebody. Ask them for who else they might know you can do business with. Again, such a basic thing, but are we doing it? So the key thing is, do what works, and then do more of it. Somebody told me a story. Michael Jordan, sports analogy. Guess who told me the story? Yeah, there we go. So he said, Michael Jordan, he was considered the best in his field, but he failed or missed the basket 2/3 of the time. But he succeeded and became the best because he learned from his mistakes for his missing the basket and got to be better and better. So it's not just about focusing on what's not working or whatever, it's doing more of what works. And I think the key thing is as well, is doing you. And I say that because not everybody might understand or relate to what you're doing in your life, in your business, or how you might take your success to the next level. And that's okay, because you've got to be true to yourself first and foremost. So whatever success means to you, to be truly successful, you've got to be true to yourself first and foremost. Otherwise, it will always be out of sync. And actually, there's a quote from Maya Angelou, which I really like. Success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And that is so, so true. So whether it's success in your life, in business, whatever it is for you, do you, because you can only do you best. So I think that's really, really key. So I'd like to leave you this one question. And I wonder if anybody can guess what it is. It's a fairly obvious one. You've just heard very different stories, very different pointers, ideas, strategies, techniques, different things that we can all incorporate in our lives in different ways, in our businesses, whatever it is to you to get to the next level of success. So my question to you is, anybody guess?
What's your next level?
Yes, excellent. What are you going to do to take your success to the next level? And I would love to just you let that sit in your head for today, because you never know whether you're at the gym or whatever you might be doing, grocery shopping, and your brain works in mysterious ways. And it might actually give you an answer. And that will be a fantastic thing and make today worthwhile. So thank you so much for your time today.